Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. The rivers are all froze over, wet heavy snow has fallen, the trails have been backed down by groomers, and before I know it my dad is coming home from work and telling me that the snowmobile trails are open. Ever since I was 2 years old, I would get all bundled up in multiple layers, squeeze into big heavy boots, put a helmet on, get a big hug from my mom, and I would be headed to the cabin with my dad and whoever else wanted to come along. We would leave the house and start our weekend with a 70-mile ride to our cabin. As I got older, I started to pay attention more, trying not to fall asleep. I would watch the signs that we would go by, as well as what the snowmobiles that passed us said, instead of just looking at the colors. I started to notice signs that said, "Caution, ice crossing, ahead, stop, bridge ahead, stay on trail, trail narrows, danger, stop ahead, winding trail, and drift area." I remember being confused of what ice Xing meant, but I didn't want to ask because that would give my family something to pick on me about. I eventually figured out it was the shortened version of ice crossing. I also remember reading the sign that said winding trail and laughing in my head because I would read it winding trail instead for fun. I would look at the snowmobiles that came by, and the word Polaris was one that I could recognize without a problem because that was the kind of snowmobile my family owned. I would watch as Skidoos, Articats, and Yamahas would race by. The word Articat always got me because it has an extra C in it that seems useless in the word. So when I would feel sassy, I would pronounce it Arctic Cat. Besides reading the snowmobiles and trail signs, I would read the more important ones, the food signs. On the trails, there would be signs that told you which way a certain city or town was. My favorite word to see was Phillips because my favorite restaurant, Birch Island Resort, was there. Other words that I would read during our rides would include Rail Trail, Tim's Hill, Prentice, Phillips, Catawba, Ogama, Hill of Beans, Triple I, Willow Flowage, Pier Lake, Solberg Lake, Reelaman, Polish Palace, Long John's, along with many others. As I got older and we started putting more miles on, I was able to learn new words that I would come across on the trails. I can remember putting over 200 miles on in a weekend, and within those adventures, many words were learned.